So how do you teach your kids or your team to have a positive mindset? When I look back, there's been lots of times, obviously, that one of our kids was really down in the dumps, or someone on the team, something bad happened, or some very difficult thing. And you've all known people like that. I'm sure right now you can think of someone in your life this very second that really needs kind of a shot in the arm of a positive mindset. They need to be able to look at things in a different way. And so in our family, and by the way, this works in family and this works in teams and work, there's a concept that we started using called, what does this make possible? And the concept is, it goes like this. When something bad happens, that's usually the pivot point for someone to have a bad attitude or a negative mindset. And so they can dwell on that and they can stay in that place or stay in that rut, or they can look at it a little differently and say, okay, that stinks, but what does this make possible? And one of the best examples I can give you is one of our kiddos, our oldest son, Marcus, got the opportunity to go to China and be in China to study Mandarin, to study martial arts. It was something he worked for over 2 years just to be able to go. And he had to take a bunch of classes in advance and get his teachers to sign off and his principal and the school to sign off. And so here he is over in China. And he's having just an amazing time. And then he makes one bad decision. And that bad decision ends up with him hurting himself and smashing his fingers. And the next thing you know, he ends up in a Chinese hospital, and then another Chinese hospital, and then the martial arts place that he was in said, hey, if you're hurt, you can't practice martial arts, so we're gonna have to end your time there. And then good friends of ours had to go pick him up and take him back to Hong Kong, and they had to make that really tough call to me to come over to China to get him. So for a young man with all this, thoughts and views as to what this trip was going to be, to come crashing to an end, he thought it's over. He was down in the dumps. He had that negative mindset. And so I got on a plane. I wasn't that excited either about flying 24 hours over there to get him and bring him back months before he was supposed to come back. But something really, hit me, that what if what happened to him makes so many other things possible. So when I got there, he was beating himself up enough. He was already had that stinking thinking going on. And so I just needed to help shift his mindset to, what does this make possible? What now can you do, because you've got 2 extra months before you can go to summertime, and you can't really go back into school when you get home. And so what we landed on while we were in China was that Marcus was going to travel with me. That because he had this extra time and the teacher had already signed off and the principal had already signed off on everything, he could travel with me. So he came back and he started traveling with me. Every mastermind I went to, every speaking engagement I went to, he traveled with me. And he started meeting people and he started seeing what the world had to offer. And it really changed his perspective about what he wanted to do with his life. And it radically changed his mindset. In fact, I would say 2 months later, he was the poster child himself about telling his brothers and sisters or anybody he met that was in a bad spot or had made a bad decision, what does this now make possible? Because he was looking at his life and saying he was thankful that had happened, because he wouldn't have traveled with me, he wouldn't have met the people that he met, and he wouldn't be on the path or the journey that he was on now. And it all changed because he developed a completely different mindset about his situation and what had happened. So when you're thinking about mindset, when you're thinking about changing someone's mindset, stop and look at how they got in this spot, and then help them see and ask the question, what does this now make possible? And they might find that a whole new world has opened up to them because of something bad that happened to them, just like Marcus did.